Hey guys, so this is Kaylin. I am doing a little video. I'm at work and doing some stuff on the computer, and I'm not camera ready, but I really needed to just get some stuff out and vent it out. Just after, my wonderful visitation with my son, every time I bring him back, the next day always seems to be really, really difficult. And I'm sure other alienated parents can understand this, and it's kind of hard to explain why. One, what happens is that, it was his birthday weekend, and I had a huge birthday party for him, and he had a great time. Anytime my son or alienated children have a great time with you, you and them get punished. Every time. And so a lot of times what happens is that I won't get any communication for a few days after. He doesn't respond to me. He won't reach out to me, which is really, really difficult because the PTSD I'm dealing with, the separation anxiety and trauma from when they were taken, and just their father just ghosted me for 4 months, completely out of nowhere, and I couldn't get a hold of my children. I still haven't talked to my daughter in almost 8 months, and luckily I reversed it with my son, but I get scared. Every time I get really, really nervous, and it triggers that feeling that maybe, he won't answer. There were times where he wouldn't answer for like 2 weeks because they would block my number on his iPad, and he didn't have a phone, and it was just very, they'd hide his iPad, and it's very traumatizing. I know there's always this like victim mentality of the targeted parent, but like, it's horrible. I'm not much of a wimp. I'm really not. Like, I'm not much of one to like want to feel or look like a victim, or put myself in that place, but it is torturous, and it is like some days it's like nothing I've ever experienced before. And I've experienced a lot of different kinds of abuse in different levels, but it's hard. And it's mostly just the stuff in your own head, you start to worry, because we know when we don't trust the alienating parent, right? We believe and know that they're dangerous, and we know that they're causing harm to our children. Nobody else really believes it or sees it or knows for sure, so it's easy for them just to kind of pretend like out of sight, out of mind, justify it. But we know what they're capable of, and that's a terrifying feeling, to have to know that you can't talk to and reach your child who is being hurt, and maybe not like beaten to death, but they're being psychologically abused in ways that are insidious and damaging and invalidating and hurtful to our children, and they don't really realize it's even abuse. That's where it's hard. They don't even see it, so they can't even help themselves. So it's just it's really been a good lesson for me to try to focus on. I'm in recovery, so focusing on the serenity prayer: accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things that I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. I'm not helpless. There are things I can change. There are things that I can do. Take good care of myself, distract myself, not get caught up in the ruminating negative talk, to myself. But it's hard. It's really hard sometimes, and you don't have anyone to talk to, because everyone that you do have in your life who you've talked to about it is probably sick of hearing you talk about it, and they can't help you anyways, and they don't know what the heck to tell you, and they don't even know if it's entirely true either. I mean, honestly, who would believe this crap? Like, nobody wants to believe that a parent is literally strategically making decisions and intentional about hurting and damaging and destroying their child. I mean, it sounds insane, right? But the problem is that it is insane, and that's what we are dealing with, and people don't really understand that. Most people in our lives, I should say. There are people that understand it, And we got to get around those people, because those people are going to be the people who empower you and validate you and help get you out of the slumps, to get you through and get you over, through that next season and into what it looks like for our walk with alienation. Because, alienation can be a drawn out forever years process, and it can be very quick. A lot of it depends on the severity of the disordered parent, what the narcissistic injury was that occurred that ignited the actual alienation. Because I guess I don't know. I realize and recognize that my children were being alienated for a long time. When I got out of treatment, I'd gone for a year. I needed to get out of the house. I needed to get away from him. It was domestically violent. It was horrible. I could not stop drinking because I just couldn't handle it. And I tried to my best. I couldn't do it. And so when I got free, I didn't realize that when I was out of the house and I was healthy and doing better, he started to use my daughter because he needed supply, right? And he could hurt me that way. And, I got strong and I didn't take his crap. I mean, I still took it some, but, he didn't like that. So it started happening to her, but I didn't know if he, would just do it. And if I would have complied, or I would have kept, placating him, maybe it would have just remained like this forever, until they're 18, maybe. Maybe he'd have kept me around as long as I brought value, because, you're only in their life if you bring value to it. So I always made sure that if I wanted, it was a game. If I wanted to get what I needed, which was time with my children, the freedom to be around them all the time and have that control of, being able to make sure they were taken care of, I needed to deal with the crap. I needed to take the beatings, and not literal, but and I did it because it was just worth it. But at some point, it wasn't anymore. It was killing me, slowly killing me, and I believe that was his intent. I believe the entire time he wanted me, gone, and almost was a couple times. So, it was fast forwarded a little bit during COVID because of some things that happened. I went supernova, and he retreated, and it really ignited the alienation process and my, the way that I responded to it, which wouldn't have happened otherwise. So I am grateful for it, but it is the most isolating and lonely experience I've ever had. It really is. And I know all of you parents out there, you're the people who I look to and lean on, because you get it and you make me feel better and more understood than anyone that I know. So you guys keep fighting the fight out there and reach out to other people. It helps you too. Don't be afraid. Go on Facebook, get on the alienation support sites. Talk about stuff. Talk about the good stuff. Talk about the bad stuff. Talk about stuff that works. Connect, get in a group and advocate. The more we empower and the more that we use the knowledge that we have to help someone else, the less damaging this was. Let's make some good out of it. And the healthier we get, the easier it'll be to combat it. We can throw our hands up in the air and play the victims if we want, and then talk about how sucky it is that we were picked out. You know what? We participated in it too. And anyone that says that they didn't is lying, or just not self-aware enough to see where they were wrong. And I struggle, with. I'll be honest. I'm not a judgmental person, but I struggle with that stuff because, everyone plays a part somewhere. And if you can't look at your role and you can't see that we all play parts in things, it's not a matter of blame or fault. It's just having a part and a responsibility in things. And we have the power to change what we can, and maybe It might not seem like it's enough or a lot, but you'd be surprised. Sometimes the smallest adjustments in ourselves can, have huge results. And I have seen that myself. So don't give up. Don't. I talked to a woman last night who I started a Facebook page and did a video yesterday, and I was kind of on one. I just was so passionate about this, and just so damaging to so many people. It just makes me so angry. And she reached out to me, and I talked to her. And then she messaged me today saying that her son, she had a video of her alienated son sent to her, and she wouldn't have ever watched it. Like, had she not talked to me last night, she wouldn't have never had the courage to watch it because it was too painful, and because she was given a little bit of hope, a little bit of whatever it was that she got out of our conversation, she'd been dealing with it a lot longer than me. She's a lot stronger than I am, I'll tell you that. I don't know if I could go 7 years, or as long as she's been, a couple years. So never underestimate the power of your story and what you've gone through, and allow other people to speak some life into you and to give you another perspective, because we need as many perspectives as we can get to try to fight through this, because it's not a one recipe thing for everyone. I mean, it is and it isn't. Like, do the things that work. Don't do the things that don't work. If someone says, hey, this worked for me, try it. And if you don't try it or aren't willing to try it, then you aren't willing to do what you need to do to get your kid back, and then don't complain about it. Like, that's just kind of where I'm at this point, there's people out there fighting to find the way, to find, the recipe. And if we don't honor that by at least, showing the respect to try it, or to be willing to listen to the people who've gone before us. I come from the recovery world, and it's a big saying that you go after find someone you want that has something that you want, and you go after that, and you follow them, and you do what they did, and then you'll be what they are. And so I would implore you to all do that today, and have a wonderful night. Bye from Minnesota.